What's going on, guys? How you doing? Gypsy Danger 7 is back with the first video of the day, and let's get right into it. Let's talk about the weather, shall we? Because today is the first day of fall, officially. Happy Monday. Now, I want to talk about the weather because there is a thing called climate change, and that is winter, spring, summer, and fall. First day of fall. Here's my point. As you know, Friday there was a climate strike to bring attention to the hoax that is climate change. But we're not going to talk about the pollution, are we? And the reason why I bring up pollution is because after this whole kumbaya climate strike thing, they left all their picket signs, all their garbage, all their debris, all their trash all over. You know, they didn't even bother to clean up after themselves. Way to go, you hypocrites. You want to take care of the planet. You want to preach to us about climate change, but you can't even take care of the planet you're trying to save. You expect everybody else to do it for you, but you don't want to do it for yourselves. And let's talk about the pollution. Yes, I'm not talking about climate change. I'm going to talk about pollution because that's what the real threat to this planet is. See, pollution is something that, yes, we humans are responsible for, but yet at the same time, we humans can do something about the pollution. And what you guys did on Friday after your whole kumbaya march and strike or whatever the hell you want to call it, yeah, you left your garbage, you left your debris, and yeah, you polluted the planet. Good job. And the point I'm trying to get at too, China and India have coal mines right now burning coal on a 24-hour, 7-day cycle. Okay, year round. And you're not even protesting that. You're ignoring that. You just want to keep on promoting this hoax, this agenda, this propaganda known as climate change. In case you're wondering something, this whole climate change narrative has been flipped. Because before climate change, it was the ice age. Then it was acid rain, then became global warming, and now they drew the last straw, and that was, okay, we'll call it climate change. I already gave you climate change, winter, spring, summer, fall. But let's carry on, shall we? But you don't do nothing about pollution, right? Especially you kids out there in San Francisco. You don't want to take the scooper to pick up the pooper. You don't want to pick up the drug needles. That's the same thing with you out there in Los Angeles. All that garbage, all that garbage, all that filth, all that trash, all those needles. You don't want to do nothing about it. Oh, by the way, going back to San Francisco, you guys got a crap app. Literally, a crap app is what it boils down to, about where the location of the crap is at. But you don't want to but you settle for that though. So you have a climate strike, but you don't want to go and tell your city government or tell your state government in California, hey, listen, we're striking against you to get these streets cleaned. We're striking against you to get something about these needles off the roads to make our playgrounds and our walkways safe and clean and sanitary. You know, as you know, LA has a huge homeless problem. Oh, by the way, the bubonic plague is making a comeback in LA. That's how bad the situation is over there. But hey, climate change, right? Let's ignore a 14th century killer that wiped out most of the population back at that time, making a comeback in 21st century. It is 2019, right? Now, let's talk about cleaning up, shall we? I want to give you an example. Somebody you should look up to. A gay white man, a President Trump supporter, a conservative that actually took action and initiative. Here we go. Last month, Scott Pressler is the one I'm talking about. He went to Baltimore with a group of volunteers and they cleaned up 12 tons of garbage in 12 hours. You know what that means? That is a ton an hour, and a ton weighs 2,000 pounds. So in 12 hours, they took out 12 tons. That's 24,000 pounds of garbage and filth and debris. They were cleaning up the pollution. And since then, he went to Newark, New Jersey, my old home state. And oh yeah, by the way, there was a time I used to work in Newark, New Jersey. And then he went to Virginia Beach, Virginia. And then now today, he's back in Baltimore because he made a promise last month that he will return to continue what he started. And as a matter of fact, me making this video, him and his volunteers are probably still working hard to get the streets of Baltimore clean. Now, why can't you climate change idiots be inspired by somebody like Scott Pressler and continue what he started? Take a page out of his book and get your friends together and start cleaning up your neighborhood. Clean up the environment around you. That's right, get to stepping, get to working, put the work boots on, put the work gloves on, put your hat on, put the gas mask on, get to working. Grab the scooper, get the pooper. Okay, get the rake and rake up all those needles on the streets of San Francisco and LA. Pick up after yourselves. Go back on Friday, wherever you're at, with the Kumbaya marches about climate strike and everything else like that, and pick up those trash, pick up that garbage, and put it back in its proper place. Now, isn't this sad? The city of Baltimore gets $5.5 billion a year from the federal government, but yet they can't even clean up their own streets. Where's the money going, Elijah Cummings? What's up, dude? Your district. Moving on. But yet, it takes a group of volunteers headed by a gay white man, a President Trump supporter, to get 12 tons of garbage off the streets of Baltimore and back today in Baltimore to continue. Speaking of which, I'm going to talk to you kids out there in Baltimore. You want to do something to help them out? Or are you going to wait for Big Daddy government? You know, what you're being indoctrinated in your schools, or indoctrination centers, I'm sorry. We don't call them schools anymore, because long gone are the days when schools actually broaden your horizons. Long gone when the schools actually taught you to think critically, challenge your beliefs, and also make you stand for your beliefs. Hey, listen, I ain't got a problem with you if you want to believe in the climate change. That's fine. But you know what, though? Can you back it up? Can you just sit there and give me arguments that you believe, not what's being force-fed you, what you believe yourself? Tell me why you. Don't sit there and give me the crap that you hear on TV. Don't sit there and give me the crap that you hear from your teachers at school. No. Give me a valid reason why you believe in climate change. Okay? And I want to give you something else too. I want you to think about this, okay? You know, CO2s are being pumped in the air every day by China and India by burning those coals, right? You know, Ethiopia planted 350 trees to absorb all those CO2s. You do realize that trees absorb CO2s to make oxygen. And they're trying to sit there and say, well, we got to get rid of CO2s. Don't you want to breathe? Because in case you haven't figured it out, when we inhale oxygen, we exhale CO2s. Don't they teach you stuff in school anymore? So, if you want to do something about the CO2s, if you're worried about all those CO2 emissions, then you know what? Call before you dig and plant some trees. As a matter of fact, plant trees that grow food, like an apple tree, a peach tree, maybe a cherry tree, something. But don't expect Big Daddy government to do it for you. Look, at Big Daddy government can't even take care of the streets of Baltimore, can't even take care of the streets of San Francisco or LA or even New York, but you want to sit there and have the Big Daddy government take control of our lives, take control of our health care, take control of what we eat and what we drive, right? Because that's all what this is. You need to wake up and realize the smell, the narrative changes, because ice age, acid rain, global warming, and now climate change. Come on, the narrative has flipped 4 times already, maybe more times than that. And by the way, as I said before, I will say it again, climate change is more of anything else, is just control, 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 control. Control what you eat, control how you drive, what you drive, how many kids you should have. Oh, by the way, I want to dispel the myth of overpopulation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can take 7.5 billion people on this planet and put them in either Texas or Alaska, and that tells you how much room we still have on this planet. So there is no such thing. Oh, and another reason, Russia has a population of like 147 million people. Do you see the land size of Russia? You see how vast that is? Please don't tell me you can't put 7.5 billion people in Russia. Okay, you do realize that majority of Russia is probably unexplored. Same thing with Alaska is unexplored. Okay, I want to take you back to Miss Cortez's. I'm being polite when I say Miss Cortez, but when Cortez went on a little road trip of hers trying to make her case against the electoral colleges, well, she unintentionally proved 2 things. 1, we do need the electoral college, and 2, there's no such thing as overpopulation, because in her video, did you see something that I saw? No people. So if overpopulation was a problem, let me ask you something about that video. Where were the people? Have you traveled anywhere in this country? Have you traveled to Canada? Have you seen the wide open ranges? I have. So you mean to sit there and tell me that we still have an overpopulation problem? Unless you have traveled, unless you've been places and you've seen firsthand how much open space we actually have, even here in the United States with 330 million people, you'd be surprised. Anyway, that's enough of the lessons. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, rate, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. And if, please support me through the Cash App. Cash App link will be below, as well as the Cash App promo code. So I greatly appreciate that as well. So this might be my only video for today. If I have time for later, I'll make another one. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Holy Ghost guide you. Later.